y'all, it's Erica from The Broken Spine. Welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. So I have my cup of joe with me, and it's been a minute. I have been away. I've been here, but I've been away. There have been a lot of things that have been going on, and I just had to take some time away. And I think there is like a frog. I don't know if you heard it, but where I live, the house backs up to the park, and it literally there's a stream that runs behind our house. You can walk to it, and like when it rains a lot and the banks overflow, like our backyard is essentially part of the stream. So yeah, and I feel like now, mind you, we have had frogs up this way, like at the house before, as well as salamanders and all sorts of other little reptiles up this way because of the stream. But anyways, so I digressed. So like I said, I've been away, just had to take some time, and life has happened. Life is happening, and I don't know. Anyway, so we're not gonna get into all of that, but I am here with a video, 10 books that intimidate me video. And some are classics, some are not. I think I have 5 classics and 5 books that are not classics. So before I get to that, yesterday was today Tuesday? So excuse me. Yesterday, Monday, I filmed a different video that was going to come out for today, Tuesday. But when I was editing it, I was like, ugh, I don't want this. So I mentioned at the beginning of that video, which I do want to mention here, that there is an organization called Catholic Vote that is going into libraries and checking out books that are on the Pride display, because their thought process is that basically it's dangerous, and they want to keep LGBTQIA plus books out of the hands of the children. So they're going in to libraries and checking out during the month of June books that are on Pride displays. So I want you all to be aware of this. If you utilize the libraries, be aware that if there's in your area, that there may be books may not be there, not because they were legitimately checked out by readers, but because people are checking them out so that you're not able to read them. And I ranted about it yesterday. I will link the Book Riot article in the description box, as well as the tweet that the organization put out. I'll put the tweet up here. I'm not gonna go get my computer to read it, but I'll put the tweet here, insert here. Yeah, it's getting out of hand, y'all. It really is getting out of hand, and we need to lift up our voices and make sure that our voices are heard above the noise and the distractions to what's important. And this is very disheartening, and it's very concerning that people want to take books out of other people's hands just because they don't agree with the content, and just because they don't want their children to read it. It doesn't mean that everyone is not, we are not a monolith as human beings. We are not a monolith. Everyone has a different experience, and everyone's experience needs and should be validated, and they should be able to read their experiences, their lived experiences, or something similar. They should be able to see themselves in literature and not have to hide, basically, and not be afraid of who they are, and not know that there are other people out there that have gone through and are going through the things that they're going through and or have gone through in their life. So I am going to get off of this now because I don't understand. I just don't understand it. And like I said, we in the bookish community who are so impassioned by books and believe that everybody should have access to books need to be a lot louder than we are. And I'm guilty of staying quiet. I know Ashley from the bookish realm has been very vocal about it. I did have the banned books discussion with Mara from Books Like Whoa and Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany and Ashley, and we talked about it. I will link that in the description box if you want to check that out. And Brian from Bookish has also tried to ignite people in a tag to talk about a banned book at least. And it's just so very overwhelming, all of the things that are going on. Like, the world in general is just in a friggin' dumpster fire. It is on fire, and we need to stop being so complacent. We need to be just as loud as the people that are opposing what we love so much. And we need to take notice that this is getting bigger, and we really need to figure out a way to stop the noise and so that people, marginalized people, will continue to have access to books. But not only marginalized people, but everyone will continue to have access to books, because there are people that are trying to ban entire platforms. And I will link Ashley's video in the description box below, because she talked in a video about that. And so we need to do better. We need to do better. We come out here and we talk about our TBRs and what we've read for the month, and what we bought, what we unhauled, but we don't really talk about some really pressing issues about what is going on in the world surrounding or around, or that pertain to our ability to read, and our privilege to read. And those privileges are slowly, actually not even slowly, but they are being taken away from us. And we need to acknowledge that, and acknowledge it more, and acknowledge it loudly. And we need to be more proactive. So I'm going to look into, for myself, what I can do to be more proactive in addressing these issues of folks wanting to ban books and attempting to ban books and challenges and things like that. So yeah, I have talked long enough about that, and I hope that you take an opportunity to look into your communities and see what's going on and what you can do to stop or to help bring awareness and stop this anti-book. Because pretty soon I feel like we're going to be in Fahrenheit 451. So I was going to say stay tuned, but let's just get into it. Okay, So, like I said, I have some classics and I have some non-classics. So let's start with the classics. And this is some of them, and they're chunky, but that's not necessarily why I'm intimidated to read them. So I guess we'll start here, just for stacking purposes. So the first one is The Tale of Genji by Murasaki Shikibu. I don't know how to pronounce that. This is like, if I were to shy this across the room at somebody, I could potentially knock them out. This book is, how many pages? It's over, well, oh wow, it has notes. I've had this book forever and did not know that it had notes. So this book, just, Lord, there's a dictionary, there's a chronology, there's a map, there's everything. This book is 1,120 pages, just the text alone. And then there's extra stuff that brings it up to 82 pages. So there's a lot of family like stuff. There's a what do you call it? A family tree in the beginning somewhere. There's an introduction. Good Lord, introduction is forever. But anyway, there's a family tree, and it's complicated, and it just seems like it's a lot of messy family drama, which, yeah, I'm here for. But this is supposedly the first book written by a woman, and from what I understand, Murasaki was supposed to be what do you call it, like a royal something like that. She was of high standing. Oh, it's illustrated too. You would think that I haven't looked through this book like when I bought it. I did buy it, well, to be fair, I did buy it years ago. I have attempted to read it and I stopped, not because I wasn't enjoying it, but because it's a lot. It's a lot to digest, and it can get confusing. The next one that I have is another chunky monkey, and that is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. And the reason, oh geez, so the story is not one that I'm intimidated by. Well, no, not really. I just feel like this is, again, almost 1,300 pages, right? It's over 1,200 pages. So I just feel like this could have used an editor. That's going to be my thought process on this. I feel like it's going to have a lot of flowery, unnecessary writing, and yeah, this is not what I'm here for. I hate to say it, but it's kind of like not where I am. I like beautiful writing if the story is compelling. I even like messy writing, but I feel like this is just going to be a bear to get through because it's going to be extra flowery, and an editor would have done wonders for it. So anyway, yeah, I just kind of feel that way about it. So the next one that I have is Alexander Dumas's The Count of Monte Cristo. I started reading this on several occasions. I haven't finished it. Each time I get a little bit farther, but then I put it down, and then I just don't come back to it for months. And it looks like right now I'm on chapter 19, which is page 220 of a book that is 1,462 pages. So I was enjoying it. I have just come to the conclusion that I'm probably intimidated just because of its sheer size, for over 1,400 pages, and this is a hardback, so it's really heavy, so hard to hold, not something that I can lay down in bed and read, because obviously what's going to happen if I'm laying down in bed? So that's not good. But anyway, so I do want to finish this at some point. I might have to just take it little by little, and just finish it. So I have actually, dare I say, I've been trying to read this book for about 2 years, and I've only made it to page 220. So there's that. The next one that I have is Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita, and this is a bind up of Lolita Pennon, Pale Fire, and the Lolita screenplay. I don't want to say that I am afraid to read Lolita. That's not it. I am afraid to read Lolita in the sense that I feel like it's going to tick me off, because, you know, Humbert is after this 12-year-old girl, and it's you know, kind of disgusting, right? So I just feel like it's going to tick me off, and that's why I put it on this list as being kind of intimidated by it. And the next book that I have is Ulysses by James Joyce. So this is, so I printed out a while ago, someone broke it down into episodes. I don't know if you can see that. And because it doesn't have chapters, and to break it up into manageable pieces, I found this, which I'm hoping will be helpful when I finally do get around to it. But anyway, so why am I intimidated by Ulysses? Ulysses is, in my opinion, it's experimental, and it's really experimental. He has like poetry. I think that's like he's got something that's kind of play-like in here. It's a lot. And I also read not in all of Finnegan's Wake by him, but Finnegan's Wake when I was in college, and I was like completely lost and very stream of consciousness. So just by past experience with James Joyce, I think that is why this intimidates me. Also, FYI, for those that don't know, it was banned in the States because it was declared to be obscene. And in 1936, if I remember correctly, that ban was overturned by Judge Woolsey, something like that, and which signified a blow to the censors for book banning. So here we are again, banning books. So there's that one. Okay, so now on to the ones that are more contemporaries. I have Out by Natsui Kirino, and this is a mystery thriller, maybe a little horror. I keep putting this on my on TBRs, and I never read it. And I think that this is just something about it that I'll start reading and then I stop for whatever reason. And it's something about it. I haven't quite put my thumb on it yet to see what it is, or to figure out what it is that is preventing me from reading it. Now, what I have read so far, which is not a lot, I've enjoyed the writing. So I don't think it's the writing. I'm having some type of mental block. But whatever it is, hopefully I can get past it and get this read, because I do want to read it. And the next one that I have is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Daniel Lewinsky. Don't know. So we know about this. If you don't know, this is another kind of experimental thing where he has like pages that, you know, have 1 or 2 words on them, pages that you have to read in a mirror, pages of footnotes and things like that, pages that look like this. So I think just because of the way that this is set up, is what's intimidating for me, and which is preventing me from reading it. I do want to read it. I've heard good things about it. I haven't heard bad things about it. I have heard that people are like, it's pretty trippy. So I'm here for that, and I do want to read it. I have to get over the whole formatting thing and just buckle up, Buttercup. So yeah, hopefully maybe by the end of the year. I'm not promising that at all, but that was my thought process. But it was also my thought process last year that I would read it last year. Didn't. And I think it was my thought process the year before. Didn't. So anyway, it's here. I've got it. Hopefully in the near future, like within the next 12 months, we'll say it that way, within the next 12 months, I will overcome whatever that issue is with formatting and get it together and read it. The next one that I have, I don't even know, I'm putting it on the list, but I actually don't even know if I really want to read it anymore. And that is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I have from people that I trust, they didn't like it. There were people that recommended it to me that I don't talk to anymore. So that says anything. But from what I understand from those that have read it and that I trust, they believe that it's trauma porn, and I'm really not interested in it. And so I'm putting it here as more of intimidated to read because of the sheer size of it. I think it's like over 800 pages or close to 800 pages. Yeah, it's a little over 800 pages. And I don't want to read 800 pages of trauma. You know what I mean? Like unnecessary trauma on top of that. I don't want to do that. The next one that I have is Goth by Otsuchi, and I've heard that this is kind of scary, a lot scary, and I don't know that this is the person who recommended it to me and who told me that they had to sleep with the lights on. I don't know that they're exactly reliable, but going according to what they said. Now, I do like horror, and at this time of the year, I start to read more mystery thriller horror kind of books. So this would be right up my alley. And this is about two teenage girls that are obsessed with murders that are going on in their small town, and they're trying to figure it out. All right, sip of coffee. The next one that I have is Thomas Ligotti's Song of a Dead Dreamer and Grim Scribe. And I've read a couple of stories in here, and it is classified as psychological thriller / horror. And when I read the stories that I read, I ended up having to sleep with the light on because I was scared. And so that is what is intimidating to me. And I do like mystery thriller horror, and this is the time of year that I start, really ramping up my reading of those genres. So maybe I will pick this up again and start reading it. It's not very long. It's a little over 400 pages. So maybe we shall see if I can put my fears aside for this one. And the last one that I have, I don't really want to say that I'm intimidated by it, because it's not so much that I'm intimidated by it. I'm just afraid of how I will feel reading it or after reading it. And it is the 1619 Project by Nicole Hannah-Jones. And we know that this has had some controversy, and people want to take this out of schools too, blah, 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 because they say it's rewriting history and, whatever. I want to read this. It's got like essays, and then it may have a short story or poetry, something like that. And I like the way that it's set up. All right. And those are the books that I have that slightly intimidate me or really intimidate me. And if you have read any of these books, let me know in the comments and let me know what your thoughts are without spoilers, please and thank you. And if you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified of new content. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!